Hi guys, so I'm what I call a dreamer. I'm pretty sure different cultures have got different names for it, but I've kind of like I labelled myself a dreamer because I do get some prophetic dreams, not very often anymore. And as I mentioned in the full staff video, um, I get a lot of jumpers, a lot of spirits who do try and jump in when you're sleeping. Um, Now when I was 14, I kept on having all these dreams of these different graveyards I've never seen in my life. Never seen them, and no idea where they were, what they were called, but I would always dream of all these different ones. And until it got to the point where I was like, okay, enough's enough. I need to know what this is that I'm dreaming about. And at that age, I didn't know. I mean, I knew that I was on the witch path, but I didn't know anything more specific than that. I was still kind of putting the feelers out there. And I remember there was this one that I dreamt of, and it had like hills, but it was always grey. It was very lonely. Literally, the church was by itself. The graves were abandoned. No one had used the churchyard for years. And it was the hills in the background, but it was very, very grey, very dreary. And it turns out I was actually dreaming of Scotland. And at that point, I hadn't really been there that much. So I couldn't have seen it. And at that point, I hadn't explored my family history too much, so I didn't even know that I had Scottish roots. I do have some. Some of the Romanians passed through Scotland to get to England. And again, I did some digging. And I started with Google, or whatever Google was back then. I was looking at all these different pictures of all these cemeteries, and I found every single one I dreamt about was in like the Google pictures. They all existed. And I was like, wow, okay. So then I was researching the churches themselves, and in every church I dreamt of, I had found like records of burial records and stuff, and I had at least one ancestor buried in each one that I dreamt of, which is it's kind of what started me on the ancestor path, because I think that was their way of reaching out and saying, okay, well, we're here, you're dreaming of us, that connection is there, we're going to show you where we are, and kind of build from that. And I haven't had a chance to go to half as many as what I dreamt about, plus it was so long ago I didn't write down which ones they were. But it's just interesting again how they kind of reached out in that kind of way, and that kind of connection was saying, okay, explore me. So I always say to anybody, always pay attention to your dreams. I mean, I qualified in dream therapy in 2015 because, again, in a Romani culture, dreams are very, very important. But we always view it as there's a level of insight to be learned from a dream, whether good or bad. And I've got quite a psychological mind as well, so I did enjoy learning at it from like a psychological point of view, as well as like a spiritual meanings kind of thing. So I do love deciphering dreams, and I think because I'm such an avid dreamer, because I astral travel in dreams, because I get the jumpers, because I know that a lot goes on in my dreams and stuff when I'm asleep. So I just enjoy kind of looking into that. But I think it's just fascinating. So my advice to anybody is the best dream dictionary you can come across would be your own, because what would mean something to you in one dream would be something else to another person. Like, for example, if you dreamt of a spider, I do often because I can't stand them. If you dream of a spider, to me that would represent fear. To someone else that could represent beauty or creativity, especially in a spiritual practice, because we are taught that spiders are a symbol of creativity. Not to me they ain't, and not to a lot of people they ain't. So the best dream dictionary you can get is write your own. So my advice to you is, if you have certain dreams, as soon as you wake up, write it all down and reflect on it once a week, and those dreams will start to make sense to you. I sometimes get visitation dreams, not that much anymore. I feel a lot of that's because I always have so much going on in my head anyway, and because I do mediumship on a day-to-day basis. There's not always that much need for them to come in at night, but they do on occasion. So definitely just make a note of anything that you dream about, because you never know what you might learn.